Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Wind Waker. In the last episode, we did some various odd jobs around the Great Sea between the Forest Haven, Cliff Plateau Isles, Seven Star Isles, and now we're here at a boating course, where we've discovered this mysterious hole. Let's hop in. Oh, I actually made the jump. That was awesome. Now, this is a slightly annoying puzzle. Here are a little bugger known as mini-blins. They will just stab you repeatedly. There's a lot of them. They die quite easily. And here's an amusing thing. If you blow them with a decular leaf, they make a really funny sound. I know they don't anymore. They used to. What we need to do is use the boomerang to hit all three of these switches in one. The problem is the mini-blins will never stop spawning. And the switches have a limited time in which you need to hit them all three quickly, so this is very annoying for that reason. Though actually we managed it fine then. And now finally the mini-blins will stop spawning. When I first played this game, because obviously you don't know the names of, because you've got no fee or equivalent or anyone like that, you don't know the names of any of the enemies unless you take a figurine of them, which I'm not going to do with mini-blins here. Mini-blins I'm going to get at a later date, but yeah, I referred to in my first couple of playthroughs exclusively to mini-blins as, haha, there's one there. Oh, okay, this is a submarine shirt. Shows where enemy submarines are. This can be kind of useful. So it looks kind of like that. And as you can see, points out the location of every submarine. The odd thing though is when you've completed that submarine, it doesn't cross it off. It'd be kind of useful if it did, so you could work out which ones you start to do. But now what I was going to say is on my first playthrough I referred to as mini-blins exclusively as baheeps. Because of the sound they make, that's kind of bang, 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 bang. It's kind of a very creepy sound. Anyway, I'm going to set the wind back to being in the west. Well, coming from the east, going to the west. Is that a westerly or an easterly wind? Do you name winds after where they're going from or where they're coming to? Confusing. Anyway, either way, I will see you at our next destination, which is the Angular Isles. Hold on a moment. Oh, yes, that's glorious! This is a Georg. These so-called ocean-killing machines are plentiful in the Great Sea. You should attack them with arrows or bombs before they're able to knock you into the sea. So now, as we approach the Angular Isles, you will notice there is a treasure chart thing lit up. If these bloody Georgs would go away, then what we can do is, as ever, pull up alongside it, drop the salvage crane, and I think we're slightly off here. Yeah, we are. It's actually slightly more this way, and off to the left there, so if we drop it there, that should be good. And that is good. Excellent. This is This is a piece of art, which is now the first one of our new container. But there is much more we can do on the island. The island itself is really cool and quite creepy looking, because it's made entirely of these kind of like mossy stones. You can see why they call it the Angular Isles. It ain't much of a mystery. What we need to do is go up here. And you'll notice if some of them have... Where is it? This one, you can just start to see has a more kind of clear sigil on the side of it there. You can see it in the thunder. That means you can pull it out. It's a movable one, which means you can then climb up it. A couple of them can be moved. They're kind of loose enough, which is quite useful. And doing that, you can therefore make your way up to the top of the island. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, you can see what's at the top of the island right from here. Push that along there, and then you can pull it along the bottom. Come on. There we go. And then we climb up that. Climb up here. Pull this. Nope. Pull that one out. And then hop up there. And hop up there. And then finally hop up here. And there's a blue choo-choo! So let's assassinate him. And grab his jelly. And then also get this chest. Hooray! So that's now 2 pieces of heart, which we got in very rapid succession. As you can see, there's a cave on that small island, but I'll be coming back to that more later. For now, yes, you guessed it, we are going once again 1 square over to the west, on to the next island, the Two-Eye Reef. But oddly enough, the reef itself is over there, but we won't be approaching it. Instead, we are going to this platform. The reason for that is actually nothing to do with what's on the platform. We can't actually really do much of this until later. but more what we can see from the platform, because something cool is about to happen and I want to do it justice. Oh god, there's cargo rocks. I'm just going to kill these buggers with a boomerang first. Hit, hit, hit. Got them. That is all well and good. Hop up the ladder. And there's a fair few enemies up here, so I'm just going to kill these first, steal some joy pendants too. There we go, that's that all dealt with. While we're here, I also grappled the cargo rock just to grab grab a thing off it, golden feather, but while we're here, just pick up 50 rupees. Useful enough. And now what we can do is, if we equip the telescope, first time we've used this in a very long time, if we look over here, there we go, that took me longer than I care to admit to find. See, there are seagulls on the horizon, a lot of them clustered in the same area. That means something quite important, so that's just to the northeast of us. So let's sail over there. You can see them more clearly now we're approaching, so what could they be doing here? Well, the answer is... holy shit. Yeah, seagulls, when you see swarms of seagulls like that, it means only one thing. There is a big octo lurking beneath the surface. So, big octos, as you can see, have a number of eyes. The more difficult ones have more eyes, and the way, for now, you can only fight them with projectile weapons, but the only one of those we've got at the moment is the boomerang. So you just basically target each one of its eyes, let the boomerang fly, just rinse and repeat. This one's only got 4 eyes. I think it's 4 hits on each eye with the boomerang, blinds that eye. So, these 3 around the front are all blinded because they're blue. There's only 1 left on the back, and that should be it. There we go. Obviously, if you don't kill all the eyes before it sucks you into the centre of the whirlpool, you get nommed and spat out at some random corner of the Great Sea, so that ain't great. But each big octo gives you a colossal reward when it's dropped, when it's killed. This one, as you can see, actually has a great fairy in it, which is fantastic. Oh, Waker of the Winds. Thanks to you, I have been freed from that beast's foul grasp. As thanks, I should give you just a little of my power. And now we get one of the single most useful upgrades in the game ever, ever, ever. Though we receive it in a very strange manner of having petals blown at us, but somehow that means our magic power is increased. We now have twice as much as what we had before. Yes, we have a double magic meter. I recommend it pretty much as soon as you've got magic, get that. It is impossibly useful to have. But there's... oh, my gamepad controllers keep sticking on the left, the control stick. That's odd. But now, as ever, there's nothing we can actually do on 2i Reef itself. We just needed to get the fairy thing from it, so we're going to head to that island on the distance. That is Headstone Island, our next destination. Now, on the island proper, there's only one real thing we can do, because, as you'd imagine from the name Headstone Island, there's a large stone on it, shaped like a head. But what we can do is whip out a Highway Bear. So now when we're in control of a gull, we fly all the way to the top of the island. And when we're up there, we will find a piece of heart. Look at that. It took me ages to work out how to collect this. Simply touch it with a seagull, and you kind of collect it. Then, ooh, there's a rupee here. Might as well grab that, even though we've got essentially full rupees. But, come on. Glide it in. There we go. And when we return back to our person, we collect the piece of heart. So we're already nearly at our next heart container. One more thing we can do in this same square is if we set the wind to be from the north. Is that... oh, see, I want to say the wind's in the north, which I think is technically correct, that it's coming from the north. But I'm not entirely sure on that one. Oh, I just got a pictograph of a big octo. That's kind of interesting, I guess. It was in black and white and didn't come with a comment. Oh, these tingle bottles. Sometimes they're interesting, but a lot of the time they are bullshit. It's too dangerous to go any further in this direction. We must turn back. So I'm not where I thought I was, apparently. That's kind of embarrassing. So my trusty notes finally lied to me. Probably just a typing error on my behalf, but what I'm looking for is not to the south. What I'm looking for is to the north. As you'll have noticed, whenever I bring the map up, every island is in the centre of its square, and chances are, like, each part of a square is filled. So if there's something hidden, like a kind of big octo or a submarine or anything like that hidden in a tile, it's usually kind of in the area of that square where the main island isn't. So because Headstone Island is in the bottom left, in the top right, we find a submarine. So you know how this goes by now. We enter the submarine. Now this one is particularly entertaining, because it's full of bombs and it's full of rats carrying bombs. And they are all very happy with their bombs, so there's a lot of explosions usually going on, and it's completely mental. If you recall back to Dragon Roost, we'll remember that these rats that throw bombs are actually called bomb chewers. In fact, I still did not know before this LP and find incredibly amusing. But as you can see, I find that the best way for dispatching bomb chewers is with the boomerang, just because you don't want to get too close to them when they are throwing live explosives around. And the bombs on the floor also have a tendency to explode a lot. Oh, one of them drops an item orb. I don't even know what rats have in an item orb. But that's all of them got down, so a treasure chest appears. Let's see what's in this item orb. I'm really genuinely very curious. Because lots of happening. Explosions off screen as well. Probably just rupees, yeah, which are kind of essentially useless to us at the moment because we filled our wallet. Well, we filled our standard size wallet. We'll be getting a new one relatively soon, so that's awesome. Crack this open. And we get another treasure chart. As usual, on screen, where it goes to, what it is, all up there now. Now, can you guess where we're going to go? Oh, we are going to go, for a change, to the west. Though actually, for once we're skipping out our home island of Outset, and actually going 2 squares across to the west, to Horseshoe Island. Now as you can see, as we approach Horseshoe Island, there's a lot of these ugly bastards flying around. So I'm going to try and take a snapshot of this one before... Oh god, that's very close! Nope, of course that's a terrible pictograph. That'll do. These are sea hats. These tremendous flying fish can only be found on the Great Sea. They tend to ram ships and knock their prey into the sea, so it's best to attack them from a distance. That's actually wrong now, that figurine description. They no longer knock you into the sea. Like, previously if you were hit at all in your boat, you'd be knocked out and kind of swimming, and it was a real bugger. And they've changed that now, so if you get hit in the boat, you just take damage rather than flying out. But yeah, I just love the little pun there that you have pea hats, and then you have sea hats, which is brilliant. But the nice thing about sea hats is they can't, even if they come close, like this bugger's like flying around, if you're on the land, they can't attack you. They'll think they can, but haha, we can attack them! Like, they'll come right up to you, but they can't actually deal you any damage if you're on the land. Right. Oh, what? The flying rupee, Batman? That was very strange. Anyway, we can change the wind on this island, and we want it to blow that way. Why, you ask? We're in an island in the middle of nowhere. It's a thunderstorm. Sounds like the perfect time for a spot of golf. Pick up a walnut, place it down, and then with the wind in the right direction, use the Deku Leaf, and miss completely. You see that kind of grey hole? That's what we're aiming for. That is the golf hole. There's a word for that, but I can't remember what it is. Golf hole. What am I thinking? No, maybe it is just hole. I'm not sure about that. That's completely wrong. I didn't mean to put the wind in that direction at all. I'm not even sure why I changed the wind. But fortunately these acorns, walnuts, whatever the hell they're supposed to be, despawn slowly and... Come on, curve it. That was really not very good. They despawn when they run out and kind of respawn back here, so it's not like you have a limited amount of shots. You just have to make sure you get the angle right before using the Deku Leaf. Like so. Oh, yes! That'll do. When you get one in the hole, the vines drop down, and you move on up the island. There are 3 shots in total. Each one is harder than the last, as you'd probably imagine. And of course you can't walk through the vines, so you have to kind of set the shot up there. It really helps to have the wind in the right direction. So I'm going to do just that. It's slightly off. Like, you can never quite line up the wind with the direction you need to hit, so you kind of just need to know where the wind is trying to be. And oh, ho, ho, ho! That was fantastic. Hole in one. Whereas the first one was like a double bogey. I don't know if it was or not, I just like, ow, saying double bogey. This one you can't even line up the shot, because the vines stop you from even accessing the walnuts. You just need to have the wind in the right direction, and then just hit straight through the walnuts. That's slightly off again, the wind, but we should be able to just hit about here. No chance, absolutely no chance. That was abysmal. Let's try that again. Hup. No, Yes, that'll do. That will do. Now that makes the treasure chest appear there, but there's actually some more stuff we could do in this island first. If we head up here, firstly you will see, as ever, Old Man Ho-Ho. If you talk to him, he says you should think of Ho. So beautiful, incredibly beautiful. I'm so glad I bought this kaleidoscope, because that's hilarious. He's the only Old Man Ho-Ho in the game who isn't actually pointing towards anything useful, because he's not looking for a telescope, he's looking for a kaleidoscope. But we can take a photo of him. Or not, apparently. Do we have to be facing him to take a pictograph of him? Because if so, that's problematic. Yeah, I think we do. Well, I'll come back to that in a bit. The treasure chest we want is over there, but we can just jump through this hole. And it's a winged mothula. This game, as you'll have noticed, has a habit of doing that. It'll throw you something as a mini-boss, and then just very soon after that... sorry. Very soon after that, we'll just throw at you as a regular enemy rather than being any kind of boss. So, let's kill some of these mothulas. I'll be back in a second. And once you've killed every enemy, moths notwithstanding, as you can imagine, there's these two torches here. Something useful appears between them. It's another treasure chart. Treasure chart? Treasure chest. I can't say that word. But honestly, it's really weird. I'm normally fairly good with being able to speak. Wow. Actually, I'm not necessarily. Treasure chart, as ever. But treasure chart and treasure chest I really struggle with saying, just because... Ooh, the mothula dropped a golden feather. I love it. Just because like the sounds after each other, the treasure chart or treasure chest especially just turns into yeah. Instead of saying treasure chest, it just turns into a blithering nonsense. But what we can do now is if we set the wind to be in that direction. By that direction I mean northeast. Then we can glide over and get this next chest. Let's crack that open as well. Another treasure chart. Two of them right next to each other on this island. Now, there's two more things we can do in this island. For the first of them, we now have to wait until nightfall. So, I will see you in a bit. Now, this only happens at night time, but if you head up just to where the second hole was, you find another blue choo-choo. Blue choo-choo sounds like something from a Dr. Seuss book. Anyway, that's pretty much our business complete on Horseshoe Island, and pretty much looking at the timer as well, our business complete for the episode. There are going to be a couple of episodes now in a row. I think there'll be one more after this where essentially we won't get any plot done, we'll just be kind of gathering stuff. And I would say I'm sorry, but I'm kind of not, because I really want to gather stuff just when I can and when I have the chance, rather than like trying to alternate between doing plot, then doing like an episode, then doing more plot, then more episodes, and it's just like I'd rather just get on with gathering everything I can for a couple of episodes than just have some kind of uninterrupted story episodes. Anyway, I thought this would work, grabbing a photo of him from the King of Red Lions. This is Old Man Ho-Ho. Old Man Ho-Ho found his first telescope after retiring from his job and has been travelling in search of new sights ever since. A new discovery always awaits at the far end of his telescope. Except in this case, because it's not a telescope, it's a kaleidoscope. So there's nothing down in that corner of the map. Which is a shame. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching this episode of Wind Waker, where we've gathered a few more goodies on the Great Sea. That's difficult to say as well. And I hope you'll join me next time for some more Great Sea gathering, and finally then we'll be working our way towards Great Fish Isle, where, as you'll have seen from the map, the next pearl sleeps. Thank you very much, and good day. Oh god, I fell off the cliff.